In recent weeks, the skies over New Jersey have been filled with something unusual. Unidentified drones hovering in restricted airspace, moving in coordinated patterns and defying easy explanation. The sightings sparked intense speculation, ranging from foreign surveillance to advanced military tests and even extraterrestrial theories. Yesterday, the White House finally addressed the situation, issuing an official explanation. But does their statement hold up? Stay tuned until the end for the full clip. In this video, we will break down what led to this announcement, what was actually said, and why many people are questioning whether the full truth has been revealed. The mysterious drone sightings. The sightings began nearly a month ago, with reports from pilots, air traffic controllers, and ordinary citizens. These were not typical consumer drones. Witnesses described formations of multiple crafts, moving in synchronized patterns at high altitudes, sometimes appearing for extended periods before vanishing without a trace. Commercial airline pilots flying into Newark Liberty International Airport reported near misses. Some described erratic maneuvers and speed, inconsistent with commercial drones. Local law enforcement and federal agencies, including the FAA and NORAD, were reportedly tracking the incidents but provided little public information. Then came the leaks. Anonymous sources within the aviation industry hinted that the government was taking the sightings more seriously than they were letting on. Some speculated that the drones could be part of a classified military project, either domestic or foreign. Others pointed to rising tensions with global adversaries, suggesting high-tech surveillance from rival nations. The lack of transparency fueled even wilder theories. Some speculated the objects were not drones at all, but something far more advanced. The idea that these were unidentified aerial phenomena, UAPs, began circulating, especially given the Pentagon's recent interest in unexplained aerial activity. The White House's official explanation. Yesterday morning, the White House finally addressed the situation, providing an official explanation for the New Jersey drone incidents. According to their statement, the drones were part of an unauthorized but non-hostile operation conducted by a private research organization. Officials claim the organization, which has yet to be publicly named, was conducting atmospheric and climate studies using high-altitude drones equipped with specialized sensors. The White House reassured the public that the drones did not pose any security threat and that steps had already been taken to prevent further unauthorized flights in controlled airspace. When pressed for further details, such as the organization responsible, the specific nature of their research, and why it took weeks to provide an explanation, the response was vague. A White House spokesperson stated that national security considerations prevented the release of all details, but insisted there was no cause for alarm. Is this explanation reasonable? Now that we have the official story, the question remains, does it hold up? From one perspective, the White House's explanation makes logical sense. Scientific research organizations do use drones for atmospheric studies, climate monitoring, and pollution tracking. In some cases, these drones can operate at high altitudes and have unconventional flight patterns that might appear unusual to the untrained eye. There is also precedent for private organizations overstepping airspace restrictions. In 2019, a research group unintentionally violated airspace regulations when launching high-altitude balloons, leading to a temporary panic. If this were a similar case, it would explain the confusion and the delayed response from officials. But many remain skeptical. The holes in the official story. First, why did it take weeks for the government to provide this explanation? If these drones were simply part of a scientific study, why was the response so slow? And why did officials initially seem just as confused as the public? The FAA and NORAD's apparent struggle to identify the crafts suggests a lack of immediate knowledge, which would be unusual if this were a routine research project. Second, the descriptions given by pilots and observers raise questions. Many reports mentioned precision formation flying, rapid acceleration, and erratic maneuvers, characteristics that do not match typical research drones. While some atmospheric drones can operate autonomously in swarms, their speed and behavior do not align with what witnesses reported. Third, why has the organization behind the flights not been publicly named? If this was a legitimate, though unauthorized research operation, there should be transparency. Instead, the vague response about national security concerns only adds to the mystery. Alternative theories. Given the inconsistencies, what else could be going on? Radiation detection. Some have speculated that the drones may have been scanning for radiation, either as part of a government operation or in response to an unreported environmental concern. This theory gained traction after reports surfaced about missing radioactive material in New Jersey around the same time as the drone sightings. If the government was involved, it could suggest either a proactive search for radiation leaks or a covert investigation into an unknown hazard. Foreign surveillance or military reconnaissance. There has been increasing concern about foreign nations using advanced drone technology to gather intelligence over U.S. airspace. Some experts believe the White House may be downplaying the security risk to avoid public panic while quietly investigating further. Alternatively, these could be experimental military drones from a classified U.S. program, with officials using the research drone explanation as a cover story. UAPs and advanced technology disclosure. The characteristics of these objects, formation flying, rapid acceleration, and apparent evasion of detection, fit within some previous UAP reports. Some researchers believe the government could be slowly preparing the public for an eventual disclosure about either unidentified aerial phenomena or technological breakthroughs that challenge conventional understanding. Energy technology implications. If the drones represent a breakthrough in power generation or propulsion, the implications could be profound. Our global economy is built around energy commodities like oil and natural gas. If a new form of energy, perhaps one that is cleaner, more efficient, and not dependent on traditional fuel sources, was being tested, it could disrupt major industries, shift geopolitical power, and upend financial markets. This could explain why the government might be hesitant to fully disclose such advancements, as it would have massive economic and strategic consequences. What happens next? Despite the White House's attempt to close the case, this explanation is unlikely to satisfy everyone. Public demand for transparency surrounding aerial phenomena is higher than ever, especially after recent congressional hearings on UAPs. Several lawmakers have already called for further investigation into the New Jersey incidents, urging the FAA and military to declassify any additional findings. Meanwhile, aviation experts and civilian watchdog groups continue to analyze radar data and pilot testimony to determine whether the official story holds up. One thing is certain, the drones over New Jersey were not a figment of imagination. They were real, they were observed by professionals, and their presence was significant enough to warrant an official White House response. The White House response. Whether the full truth has been disclosed remains an open question. The White House's explanation for the New Jersey drones might be the end of the official narrative, but for many, it raises more questions than it answers. Were these truly just research drones, or is there something more going on behind the scenes? What do you think? Does the government's explanation seem reasonable, or is there more to the story than they are letting on? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and if you found this video informative, do not forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more deep dives into the biggest mysteries in technology, science, and news. As promised, here's the full press release.
I do have news directly from the President of the United States that was just shared with me in the Oval Office from President Trump directly, an update on the New Jersey drones. After research and study, the drones that were flying over New Jersey in large numbers were authorized to be flown by the FAA for research and various other reasons. Many of these drones were also hobbyists, recreational, and private individuals that enjoy flying drones. In time, it got worse due to curiosity. This was not the enemy. A statement from the President of the United States to start this briefing with some news.